What's happening YouTube? The Los Angeles Clippers faced the Los Angeles Lakers. Part 2. The Clippers had no stars. The Lakers had Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. And my beautiful Clippers managed to pull it off. So the first half in general, it was a really tight game. It was really close. Clippers was playing hard. Clippers was playing efficient. Our ball movement was pretty much spot on, pretty much like most of the games. It was a really, really tight game. And then the Clippers in the third quarter, they took momentum. Morris and Reggie was doing the work. Heinstein brought some energy. And then fourth quarter, the Lakers did like almost spark a comeback. It did, kind of spooked me a bit, actually a good amount. But then Reggie Jackson pretty much saved the day, which was nothing but amazing. Now I'm gonna go by player on the Clippers and pretty much explain on how they did, and pretty much there's a lot of key takeaways from this game. So, if anything, this game shows that the Clippers should refrain from trading Serge Ibaka, unless if it's like a clear, obvious upgrade. But Serge Ibaka, man, he was a complete beast. Now I've seen some comments, and some people did suggest it to trade Serge Ibaka due to his age and all the stuff, but and all the other rumored things that Clippers are willing to trade Serge Ibaka and all the stuff. But man, after this game, the Clippers should refrain from trading Serge Ibaka, bro, because this man was playing really good defense. He was really good in the paint. He was posting up. He was really efficient. He was being your true, tough, great, strong, big man. It was literally like blue collared. He was getting the paint, making, ooh, that beautiful hook shot. And amazing part is my man Serge can space the floor. So if I were the Clippers, I would do whatever it takes to keep him. Hopefully, I think he's going to be a free agent this season. I hope the Clippers could, I hope Serge Ibaka is willing to stay with us for a fairly cheap contract for him to, and the Clippers in general to um, pursue our hopes to get the title, which is, I still believe we still have a chance to win a title this year. That's just me being biased, but again, when Kawhi and PG comes back, which is there's a good chance they will, man, it'll be beautiful. It will just be beautiful. And then let's talk about the man Muck. Muck was, oh my goodness, he was being that that perfect power forward that you would want to have, like power forward, small forward, whatever you would want to label Muck. But Muck was just being the ideal guy. He was making really clutch threes. He was doing his amazing post fadeaways at the last seconds. Muck just pretty much hit a really clutch three that helped the Clippers seal the game. And man, he was being a really good enforcer. He was really being, ooh, it was just amazing to have Muck on our team, man. Just being a really good um, 3 and D, big um, power forward. Like, yeah, man, Muck was pretty much like our leading scorer of the game, honestly. I think he is. I believe he had 29 points, shot 12 for 17, splashed a good amount of threes. Like, this guy is really key for our scoring. He really was the key of our scoring for this game. And lately, for the past 20 games that we played, Muck was, also helping the Clippers a lot. And and the thing is, when Muck is healthy, he is pretty damn good. And then we have the man, Reggie Jackson. Now, Reggie Jackson, Oh my goodness. This man pretty much saved the game. He really saved the game. He clutched up in the third quarter, fourth quarter. Like he was splashing it. He was wetting it. He was draining it. He was murdering it. He did all types of things. And he was dancing at the last seconds, literally like putting his knees up high, just dancing up and down, and kaboom! Then he drove to the rack and pretty much did that beautiful game-winning shot, that beautiful game-winning lay. Like one thing that I kind of noticed that when Reggie Jackson actually gets adequate rest, he plays pretty good. When we play on a back-to-back, Reggie Jackson would be off, somewhat off. Like I believe I was watching one of the Clippers games because it was like on non-national TV, so I had to use some type of streaming site, and I was on the Clippers network, and they kind of showed that when Reggie Jackson was um, off for like 2 days or more, he tends to be a pretty good player. When Reggie Jackson, when it's a back-to-back, Reggie Jackson would more likely be on the fatigue spectrum, which is resulting him to being pretty off. So if let's just say any of us, including me, like if Reggie Jackson becomes off and we get a little frustrated, just like maybe try to use that as a consideration to remember on why Reggie Jackson can be off, and it can be due to fatigue. So maybe what Ty Lue could work on doing is maybe like on back to back, try to like don't play Reggie too much or something like that, or maybe just like sit Reggie Jackson one games, get the young guys playing, and then when it's like a more important game, then you get Reggie in. Like I don't know, but when Reggie Jackson gets rest, I'm just saying he plays pretty good. When Reggie Jackson plays on a fatigue, then he would be like his plan would not be the best. And then we gonna talk about Amir Coffey. Now look, if you look at the basic, like the scoring, all the box scores and stats and stuff, like it did not look good in his stats. But when you actually watch the game, I thought Amir did pretty good considering, like even like without him like really scoring much, he did a lot of other things that you just don't really see. And Amir Coffey came from a really long way. Like it literally went from, oh, what the heck are we playing this guy, to now, yeah, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's that glue guy. Like Amir may not be scoring, then he only scored like a whopping 3 points, but man, his passing is really good, which helps us move our pace pretty good, which helps us, have a nice flow of ball movement. Like his passing is pretty good, and I like it when Amir like runs point guard because you have a nice playmaker who is more than capable to pass the ball, and also he is 6'7", 6'8", that's a pretty big point guard to have, and unusual, he's really capable of shooting. Of course, this game he didn't take much shots at all. He pretty much more likely distributed to players like Morris, Jackson, and all the players. Like he is pretty good at doing a lot of things. Especially he's good at getting players open, and that's a big plus for Amir. And also he plays pretty solid defense. That's another really good thing about my man Amir. And he really did prove me wrong. He made me eat my words real good. And man, it's been delicious. It's been delicious. And then we have Luke Canard. Luke Canard, he was also pretty good for our scoring punch, especially in the second quarter and a little bit beginning the third quarter. He was a pretty good scoring punch. Like when we needed a bucket, Luke Canard made his bucket. Of course, Austin Reeves played pretty solid defense on Luke, but Luke did his thing. I believe he had 10 points, which is it helped our scoring punch. So that was also a pretty solid plus. And then my man Isaiah Heinstein, I thought he did pretty well too. Like, yes, his glaring weakness is his fouling. Like, he could always try to work on, not getting foul troubles and all stuff, which that results to Harnstein not playing really big minutes because he's, he would tend to, like get in foul troubles and stuff. So if Harnstein could, try to work on not fouling all the stuff, and I think he could definitely be a beast, and he's easily starter material because that man brought energy. He was grabbing all the boards as well too. When Serge's not playing, he was getting all types of crazy boards that definitely helped the Clippers a lot. And he also definitely got dirty inside a rack too and gave us a nice momentum. So big shout out to Isaiah Harnstein. And then Eric Bledsoe, he was also pretty solid too. He he definitely was pretty quick, moved our pace pretty fast. Didn't really do much dumb plays, which is that's great, and that's a really good part. And again, pretty much a really good part about the Clippers is our playmaking is really good. Like I know that pretty much like the rumors they say, oh Clippers are trying to trade for a point guard, or and some fans saying, oh we need to go get the point guard, oh we need to trade some players to get a point guard or this and that. But if you really think about it, Clippers necessarily I mean sure, but we already have a lot of players who are more than capable of playmaking. So I think that I don't think the Clippers should stress out and give a fortune to get a point guard because, like I said, you still have Jason Preston, who's a pretty good playmaker, and also don't forget the Clippers do have a 2023 first round pick. Like it's a right to swap, and again, like I said in my trade deadline videos, um, if you really just look at the 2023 like mock draft, there's a lot of really good point guards, in my personal opinion, that is projected in the late first round. So again, like if you're interested on like checking the NBA draft, you could always take a good look at it because that's what I kind of do on when I'm not looking at the Clippers basketball. I just look at the draft at times. But anyways, I believe the Clippers have a good amount of playmaking. Like a lot of players are capable of playmaking. Just Tyronn Lue just really has to utilize it really properly. And how Tyronn Lue coached his game, I believe he did pretty good. Like, and also speaking of Ty Lue, big shout outs to him. Big shout outs to him because look, I know Tyronn Lue could always try to do something that I would like him to do, but hey, like literally, like it's tough, to have a Clippers that has no Kawhi and no Paul George, and you're still beating pretty good teams, making really big comebacks like how we did against the Wizards, how we did against the 76ers, how we had a nice win against the Orlando Magics. We like we've been having a lot of good wins this year. So, and Tyronn Lue, like it doesn't just come to Magic that we just get wins like this. Like, can you imagine if Doc Rivers was coaching the Clippers right now? Man, the Clippers would have lost this game because Doc Rivers lack in-game adjustment, and he pretty much waits a long time to call a timeout. Like, he really does. And that could have easily had the Clippers lose this game. But Tyronn Lue, like, man, shout out to Tyronn Lue, man. Like, especially this beautiful game. It was a big, big nail biter, and we pulled it off. But anyways, just let me know on what you think about this game. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll try to get to you in the comment section. And as y'all know, go Clippers.